Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for checking in the Khaliis take. If this is your first time to the channel, please like, subscribe, leave any comments. Also, hit the notification bell for any future content. And also, please check out my prior videos of this one. I think you'll find it to be interesting on some of the takes that I have. And hope you enjoy the take that I'm about to give you now. How serious is Anthony Davis' injury? I wonder because I sit back and I think about, first he was out, he was listed to be out for just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, I think at the most. Now they extended it to a month. I'm wondering how serious his injury is because when we think about what happened to Kevin Durant just a couple of years ago, a couple of seasons ago, I should say, in the NBA Finals, when they were playing against the Toronto Raptors going against Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors, Kevin Durant had a calf injury, and then all of a sudden, they listed it as a calf injury. Then all of a sudden, he popped his Achilles in the biggest game and the biggest stage, which is in the finals against the Raptors. And when you think about Anthony Davis is 7 feet tall. He's a big man, and big men like that, putting that much pressure on their legs and everything, and ankles and Achilles every night, it takes a toll on them. And for the most part, Anthony Davis has been a really, really injury prone type player. Even throughout his career, even when he was with the Pelicans, he was injury prone. He had all the talent in the world, but if he can get out his own way with injuries, he would be fine. And when you sit back and think about that, I wonder how severe his injury is because, it's really, really a challenge for the Lakers to play without him in the lineup now. It would be really even more challenging if they had to go even longer time without him being in the lineup. Because really the only thing that's going to do is just wear LeBron down, because LeBron really has to orchestrate everything now, even more so than what he was doing. And, Dennis Schroeder didn't play last night against the Brooklyn Nets, in which they lost. The Lakers lost to the Nets, but Dennis Schroeder can control the offense because he is a point guard. But even still, you're asking LeBron James to do more scoring, play more defense, and be on the floor a lot more, rather than when Anthony Davis is there. LeBron can sit down in between quarters and get a breather, get a rest. There is no resting now. If it's 46 minutes in the basketball game, LeBron needs to at least play 40. At least that. He needs to average 39, 40 minutes at least for them to win most of these games. And like I said, their schedule is really not that easy. I feel like they should beat Miami Saturday when they play them. Then they got a couple other teams they have to play. But regardless of, you're getting teams where, it's going to be difficult to beat them. I think they play Portland after they play Miami. Dame Lillard's on a hot streak right now, so Portland's playing pretty good, actually. I think they're like fourth in the West. So, they're going to have some tough matchups. They're going to have some, tough times and everything like that. But, for the most part, they're just a team that's really built around Anthony Davis. And AD is a big part of what they do. Not only because he's a top 5 player, but because LeBron just really can't sustain that level of play anymore. He still plays at a high level, but the minutes, he can't play 42 minutes, 39, 40 minutes a game. He can't do that like he used to several years ago because he's a lot older. And to ask him to go out there and play at a high level and play defense on the other end and play 40 minutes a game, that's a lot to ask out of a 36-year-old man. And, I think a lot of people are just looking at this now, or will be looking at it like, if Anthony Davis is going to be out for a substantial amount of time, how much wear and tear is that going to put on LeBron? And how much wear and tear is that going to put on the Lakers organization, the players mentally? Because now, like I said, you're asking LeBron to do more, and you're asking those other guys to step up and make up for what Anthony Davis does. And that's just absolutely almost impossible because none of them is Anthony Davis put together. So, and then when you look at it now that they don't have Anthony Davis for a while, and hopefully when he comes back, he stays healthy. Now you look at the losses that they had. When they let go of the JaVale McGee's, when they let go of the Dwight Howards, those type of players would really, really benefit the Lakers now, because it would at least, maybe they can't score like Anthony Davis, but at least they could hold down the paint and provide more defense. Now that they don't have that interior defense. Now they don't have that reliability because AD is down and out. It's really going to hurt them. And I feel like they might lose some games to maybe a couple of teams that they probably should beat. Because eventually, like I said, LeBron's just going to wear down. And like I said, unless what happened last year, they get a 4-month layoff because of some type of reason due to COVID, LeBron is just going to be really, really tired by the playoffs. See, last year he got a break because that 4-month layoff, it benefited him the most. It benefited him more than it benefited really anybody else. Because LeBron needed the rest. He's older. All the other players are younger. They're ready to play. They're ready to get ready to go. But when they had to stop playing, it really threw off a lot of players' momentum. And being, secured in a bubble just wasn't what players were used to, and they were all against it, especially the Clippers, for what we heard. So what I'm saying is, unless that happens again this year, if LeBron has to go the rest of this season and, hope and pray that Anthony Davis stays healthy when he does come back, and this period of time of a month or a month and a half or however long Anthony Davis is going to be out, LeBron has to carry the load. I don't know what he's going to look like by the playoffs. I'm not saying the Lakers will be eliminated in the first or second round, but it definitely is possible. Because if LeBron James is tired, if LeBron James is not, in that get up type mode that he usually is in around playoff time, because he's older, you never know what can happen. And I'll say this much, even though Anthony Davis is the best player or one of the best players, or the team, like LeBron said, the team runs through Anthony Davis. LeBron's made that statement before. If that's true, even still, it doesn't matter. Because if LeBron James is not 100% healthy, nobody cares about whether Anthony Davis is healthy or not. If LeBron James is not 100% healthy, physically fit, or if LeBron James is worn down by the time playoff time starts, the Lakers are going to be in some real trouble. They're going to be in some real trouble. Because like I said, no matter how much how good he is, LeBron is the backbone of that team still. And in my estimation, he's still the best player on that team. Even though LeBron has made statements that the team runs through Anthony Davis, yes, it does, because Anthony Davis is unstoppable and he's a big man in the paint that nobody can deal with. And plus, he can step out and shoot as well. But even with all that being said, he's not LeBron James. And like I said, if you wear LeBron James down this next month, and if he wears down more during the season, will injuries start to plague him? Will he start getting injuries? Will he start having knick-knack injuries like hamstrings, thigh contusion, something like that? Will he start having injuries like that'll plague his gameplay when it needs to be stepped up in the playoffs? So you don't want that to happen either. So when I ask the question, how significant is Anthony Davis' injury? Or how bad is it? Or how much can it really affect this team? I would say it can affect it 100%. A whole lot. And if it does, like I said, I'm really, really, really worried about this team. Because when I looked at last night against the Brooklyn Nets, they're playing a team last night with Kyrie and James Harden. Kyrie put up some points, but Kyrie really didn't even have a good game. Kyrie had an off game. And the Lakers still couldn't beat them. Joe Harris, he puts up 21 points. And then Cabarrot, whatever his name is, the other guy off the bench, he was shooting hit 5 threes. They got some great bench play and all that and everything. But to me, the Lakers really had an opportunity to win that game, especially if Kyrie wasn't playing at his best. And then on top of that, I'm looking at the game, somehow the Brooklyn Nets are not even known for defense, and the Lakers didn't even crack 100 points. The Lakers might be the first team that has played the Brooklyn Nets all this season that hasn't cracked over 100 points against them. They might be the only team that's ever did that this season. So, when you look at the game last night, LeBron's putting up points. LeBron's, getting to the rack. But there again, LeBron isn't a great shooter. So he's going to have nights where he looks like he's, Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki shooting out there, a player of that caliber. Then he's going to have nights where, he looks like Dwight Howard trying to shoot out there. You see what I'm saying? So, you could depend on LeBron. But remember, LeBron is not a three-point marksman, and he's not, the player he once was 6-7 years ago. So he's still a great player. He's still playing at a high level. But what a lot of people don't realize is the high level and how he plays is based off of Anthony Davis being there to supply him the one-on-one matchups and get him in position that he needs to be in to be effective. Because he's not the player he used to be 7, 8 years ago, where it didn't matter whether he had Anthony Davis, he still would go out there and win a game like last night easily. So, when we think about that, Anthony Davis' injury is really, really significant. And I'm pretty sure the Lakers organization, they might be thinking maybe we need to make a trade, or maybe we need to just at least, pick up somebody to make up for what Anthony Davis can do. Not offensively, but what he can do just as far as getting rebounds, playing a little bit of defense on the defensive end. They at least need somebody formidable in that way, because if they don't, like I said, I personally thought in the beginning of the season, it's going to be hard for them to win the championship anyway without those other guys like JaVale McGee's and Dwight Howard's, because when Anthony Davis sits down, those guys came in the game and they couldn't score like Anthony Davis, but they were effective to the point where they can get 10 to 15, 20 points between each other, and they will play good defense. And now, even with Anthony Davis, if he is healthy, I'm not sure if the Lakers can go through the playoffs the way they did last year, because those other guys aren't there anymore. And they lost Rondo too. Now, I will say Schroeder makes up for Rondo somewhat, but at the same time, I haven't seen Schroeder do this in the playoffs. So what he's doing right now is really good. He didn't play last night, but I have to see him do this in the playoffs on a high level. And we've seen Rondo do it time and time again. I haven't seen Schroeder do anything in the playoffs on a high level of Rondo's caliber. So he's going to have to prove to me and the rest of the world that he's definitely a good fit and he makes up for what Rondo gave them last year. So, it's really concerning to see the team, where they are and, what they look like. Like I said, I was really surprised they didn't crack 100 over the Brooklyn Nets, because I think the Lakers might be the first and only team that I've seen that didn't get over 100 points against the Nets. So, yeah, I don't know. To me, that's really concerning. Maybe, you don't look at it that way. Maybe your take is a little different. So please leave any comments in the comment section. I definitely would like to, look at them and get engaged and everything with that. So, but hey, that's it. That's all. So we'll see how the season goes with them going forward. And hey, till next time.